As you may or may not know, my wife and I just got back from Vegas. It was a great trip. We ate, we drank, we had a blast. But then we got home and looked at the credit card, and I gotta say, it doesn't matter how much fun you're having, $25 for a drink is a ripoff. Frickin' Vegas. I hate getting ripped off, and so do the lads over at Harry's. They spent years watching the razor blade companies rip people off and said, no more. Not all heroes wear capes, my friends, and they want to prove that they're legit by offering you hot dogs a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. I've been telling you about them for months, and I'm genuinely proud to have Harry's as a sponsor of this show. I wasn't kidding. The plastic, futuristic-looking crap razors you get at the store are overpriced and they're poor quality. Harry's blades are crisp, clean, and classy. They're the kind of razor you'd expect your grandpa to have on his bathroom counter. And most importantly, they work. Shave after shave, they're so smooth, they're precise. I used to go through the crappy store blades all the time, but Harry's are built to last. And they're not just better quality than the other names, they're more affordable. And they deliver. Just set your schedule, and for as little as $2, new blades, shaving creams, lotions, everything you need, right to your door when you need it. I genuinely cannot think of a reason not to try Harry's. And I'm not just saying this because they're sponsors. They're the best shaving supplies I've ever used. Try them out, and if you're not happy, your shave's on them. And unlike the other subscriptions, they're really easy to cancel if you want to too, which is a nice bonus, but believe me, you're not going to want to cancel. Getting ripped off isn't funny. Switch to Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. That's harrys.com/RTG for a $3 trial set.
Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It's my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you guys so much for listening. This week, it is episode 72, and we are talking Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64. It feels so weird to say the system it's for when every fucking Nintendo 64 game ended in 64. Admittedly, I am not the world's biggest Nintendo 64 fan. I've said that on the podcast before, but I fucking love this game. I mean, I loved the 64 as a whole back then, but the system has not aged all that well. But Mario Kart 64 has. It is as rad today as it was back then. Mario Kart is perfect. It is my favorite franchise, aside from probably the core Mario games themselves. And Mario Kart 64 is mwah. That was the Italian kiss the tips of your fingers, throw them into the sky. So we're going to get into that more in a couple minutes. You guys know I am going to ramble first. If you're not interested in listening to the rambling, then you can look at the description box below, and there should be a timestamp telling you where to skip ahead to. But I suggest you listen to the rambling because I put, 12 minutes into it every single week. So, one of the things I hate about the Nintendo 64, here's your fucking first segue, is the controller. Most people can agree that was a monstrosity of a controller. And on the Patreon Q&A episode from this Monday, 2 days ago, we talked about the best and worst controllers of all time. We also talked about our thoughts when it was just me. My thoughts on Hideo Kojima. I talked about where I think CM Punk would make a bigger splash, WWE or AEW. I give PlayStation credit because 4 of the 5 best-selling home consoles ever are the 4 iterations of the PlayStation. So that's just some of the stuff I talk about. If you guys are interested in that, we have 5 Q&A/rambling episodes available over there and 4 game review episodes over there, including Cuphead, The Messenger, Octopath Traveler, and the Link's Awakening remake. Patreon.com/remember the game. $2 a month. You'll get all those episodes. You'll get a shout out, and you'll get entered into a chance to win a prize every single month. There's my Patreon plug. It is done. I will try to shut up about the Patreon going forward. Our downloads are still up, dude. I mention this every week, and the only reason I don't mention this to brag, I don't know if these numbers are even worth bragging about. I mention them because I feel like this is something that we have built. And admittedly, I'm putting more work into it than anybody else is. But we're building this together. You guys are the ones spreading the word and leaving us good reviews and telling your friends and all that good stuff. I really, really appreciate it. We're still up. Like, I can see my number right now, 29.6% over the previous 2 weeks. So from the last 2 weeks to these 2 weeks, we're up almost 30%. I'm at 1,600 downloads over the last 14 days. And that is insane to me. So I say it all the time. But thank you all so much. And if you're one of the things I see that's really cool is I can see what episodes are getting downloaded, and it's just such a smorgasbord. It's just such a shit show of episodes. It's not just the current one. People are clearly discovering the podcast, going back through the archives and finding their favorite episodes and their favorite games. And I think that is fucking rad. So if you guys are enjoying the show, please just keep spreading the word. Whether you're supporting us on Patreon or not, just leave us a nice review and just throw us a shout out on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that. I try to retweet them all or comment on all of them. And thank you guys so much. Nathan from Labrador reached out to me, just discovered the podcast. He's been rad. Gave us a plug on Instagram with one of his favorite episodes. Dude, thank you, Nathan, for listening and for the share and for listening to us from all the way in beautiful Labrador. That is awesome. And it's all you guys. Just, I know I see it. I see them out there, the shares and the likes and stuff. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. One of the questions I have for you guys is, what do you think about phone-in guests, like doing podcasts via the phone? Like I know personally, I listen to episodes of other podcasts where they interview their guests like via the phone or Skype, and the slightly reduced audio quality doesn't bother me. But I'm curious what you guys think, because there's some people I want to reach out to. There's some collaborations I've talked to people about and stuff, and it would really just help me and the collaborating out if we could do the phone thing over there. You guys know this podcast is already a low enough quality already, so I don't know how much more I can hurt it. But I'm curious to know what you think. I'm going to try to throw a poll up, on the Patreon and the Twitter and stuff like that to see what you guys think. So no judgment. I'm not going to get mad. I care enough to ask you guys what you think. I don't want this podcast to suck, and you guys are the ones listening to it. So if it sucks, please tell me that it sucks, and I'll do my best to fix it. As far as gaming news goes, I don't have too much to talk about this week. The big thing I wanted to mention is that Pokemon comes out in 3 days. By the time you guys listening to this, if you listen to this the morning it goes up, which is Wednesday the 13th, Pokemon Sword and Shield is about 48 hours away. And I talked about it a little bit on our Patreon episode this week. I'm just going to quickly touch on it now. I haven't looked at any spoilers. I don't know the roster of Pokemon. I don't know what's going to happen with the game. I don't want to know. I'm almost certainly going to buy it. I am waiting on a review, but I'm almost certainly I'm going to buy it. And I just want to say, like, it is so fucking toxic, the online media, social media community around this game. And it's rad that they have gotten Thank You Game Freak or something like that trending on Twitter and stuff. If you don't know, Game Freak is the company that makes the Pokemon games. And it's people trying to battle the negativity by being like, hey guys, thanks for making these games. We're excited to play it, and you guys are awesome. Listen, if you don't like the game, that's fine. And you're even entitled to go online and criticize the game if you want. That's part of producing a product. Is when you put yourself out there, you open yourself up to criticism and stuff like that. But these fucking people that are ranting about how Game Freak is lazy because all 800 Pokemon aren't in it, or the graphics aren't quite good enough, or this or that. Listen, I'm not going to tell you to... Okay, I am going to tell you to shut the fuck up. You're entitled to say what you want, but it's like, I can't even go onto the Reddit page of Nintendo Switch right now, or the Nintendo Switch page of Reddit right now, whatever, because it literally is just people shitting on the new Pokemon game that you haven't even fucking played. It is 2 days away. Shut the fuck up. Late for the reviews. Try playing it. Just see what people say about it before you crap all over it, you fuck. Like, social media is the best and the worst thing that has happened to society in years. Maybe ever, because it's cool that we can all communicate with each other, and if you have an opinion on something, you can make it known. And I've ranted about this on here before. The fucking toxic negativity that floats around online these days makes me sick. And if you fucking don't like something, don't play it. Feel free to criticize it, but you don't need to start 8,000 threads on fucking message boards and stuff shitting over a game that you haven't even fucking played yet, and then just like hijacking other threads and shitting over it. It's fucking Pokemon. We know what you're getting with a Pokemon game. Guess, like, what were you expecting it? Anyway. I'm excited about it. I am waiting to see the review, but I have intentions of buying it in 2 days. Probably Shield, FYI. And I'm going to play it, and I'm going to enjoy it. And half of the reason I'm going to play it and buy it, play it and enjoy it, and probably tweet at Game Freak and tell them I like their game, is to spite some of these fucking haters online that I hate. And speaking of the haters online, they just dropped a new trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and he looks a lot better. Because admittedly, like, I was eyebrow raised when that first trailer came out. He looked fucking weird, but now he looks like Sonic. And actually, like, the entire trailer just looks better. Like, I had really low expectations for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and they're slightly up now. Like, I'm gonna give it a chance. I will say, and I was thinking about this today, like, does it not seem like a movie they should have done a long time ago? Like, I mean, it's cool that they have better CGI now and they can make a better looking Sonic and all that good stuff, but like Sonic's not, like, I mean, 20 years ago, Sonic was like he was fucking right there with Mario, and now it's like, is he not kind of almost like an also ran at this point in the gaming community? Like, I have no beef with Sonic. You know, I mean, I'm constructively critical of his games, but Sonic himself is cool. I love the character. I liked his cartoon and his comic books. I'll go see his movie, and I hope this movie doesn't suck, because as we all know, like 90% of video game movies fucking suck. Looking at you, Mario Brothers movie, and Doom, and I don't know, whatever the fuck, Resident Evil and whatever the fuck else is out there. But the trailer looks a lot better. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/rememberthegame. There's my tie-in. Go over and check it out. Jim Carrey looks cool as Robotnik. I'm glad they're not calling him Eggman. He's fucking Robotnik. I'm a little weirded out that he's not big and fat like Robotnik is, but I can look past that. That's not a big deal. So I hope this movie doesn't suck. Comes out in February, so we'll see. That's all the news I have. I'm just going to quickly touch on what I'm playing, and then we're going to get to Mario Kart 64, the main event that I know you guys are here for. What have I been playing? Almost exclusively Luigi's Mansion 3. I picked it up a little over a week ago, I think, and I finished it yesterday. 100%, like 100%ed it. I got all of, there's 6 hidden crystal gems on every floor of the hotel that you're going through. I got all the gems. I went and found all the hidden, there's a hidden Boo, like the ghost on every floor. I caught all of them. Admittedly, they felt kind of like, I enjoyed the puzzles that were behind finding the gems and the boos, but the payoff for getting them all is very crappy. And I won't say what it is in case you don't want spoilers, but if you're doing it not to be completionist, but just for the sake of getting the rewards suck. Don't do it for that. If you want to do it for a completionist, that's cool. It took me about 20 hours to finish the game, get everything. And it's one of the games, I'm primarily a digital gamer. That's how I prefer to buy my video games. But this was one I bought physical, and I think that was the way to go. I bought it brand new. I beat it 100%, 20 hours, and I sold it. And I don't even mind saying I bought it for $80 plus tax, and I sold it for $60. So I basically rented it for about $24. Beat it in a week, and then flipped it, and I'll put that $60 toward Pokemon. And a game because admittedly, there's not a lot of replay there. It's a puzzle game, and once you know how to solve all the puzzles, I can't see it being something you would come back to anytime soon. But I never played Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, or very, very little. And I never touched the one on the 3DS, because I remember the GameCube one just not really ever scratching me where I itch. But this one, they have a fan now. Like, I mean, when and if Luigi's Mansion 4 drops, I will buy it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you're on the fence about it, you like puzzle games, I would definitely recommend you check it out. I enjoyed it. Just don't expect like a fucking 80-hour heavy hitting masterpiece there, because you're not going to get it. You're going to beat it once and then probably not ever have to play it again if you don't want to. So I played that. I've also played a little bit of Tetris 99. Because I can't quit that game because it is crack. They just ran an event where they released a Pokemon skin, and it's cool. They do these, like I've got all of them now. Every couple of months they kind of do a special event when they have a big game release coming up, and you go in and you basically just have to win a game or play a few games. You get 100 points, and then for your 100 points you get a new skin. So I've got like a Fire Emblem skin, a Pokemon skin, Luigi's Mansion. There's Kirby. There's a classic Game Boy skin. There's a 6th one that Splatoon, I think, is the 6th one. And they're rad. Tetris 99 is the shit. I will never quit that game. It's so good. The Pokemon skin looks pretty cool, so I'm happy with that. And then, I've played a touch of Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation Classic. For anyone that's been catching up on old episodes, I was talking about doing a Let's Play of Metal Gear Solid. I decided to abandon it because it's a very slow game, and I don't think it would translate very well into an episode of a Let's Play. But I've been enjoying playing it. I've got that PlayStation Classic sitting there. It cost me $20. I might as well do something with it. So I'm probably going to finish. That's probably my plan over the next 3 days. I want to finish Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation before Pokemon drops on Friday. So that's what I've been playing. That's what I've been playing this week. Let's talk about something that I was playing 22 years ago, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Mario Kart 64. I know that there are some people out there that still prefer Smash Brothers Melee over any version of Smash. I can get behind that. I personally like Smash U and Smash Ultimate a little better than Melee, but I'm not the world's biggest Smash fan. Where I'm going with this is that I would say that until Mario Kart 8 dropped, Mario Kart 64 was still my favorite Mario Kart game. Double Dash was rad. The portable ones were good. Mario Kart Wii was but Mario Kart 8 finally dethroned Mario Kart 64. I have so many phenomenal memories of playing this game with my friends, as I'm sure so many of you do. That's why I'm so excited to finally... I can't believe it took us 72 episodes to get to this one. I'm really, really excited to talk about it. My pal Miklos is back. You may remember him from many previous Sega Genesis episodes and then some other stuff. I can't remember all the episodes Mick and I have done together now. There's a whole bunch of them. But we're going to take you back to that glorious area of the late 90s. I am going to cue the music. That is the Moo Moo Farm music, for any of you that are wondering. And we are going to talk Mario Kart 64, which originally hit store shelves in North America on February 10th, 1997. Kick back and relax, you guys. Let's take a trip down memory lane and talk about Toad and Friends in Mario Kart 64. Here we go. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everyone that listens to this podcast knows about our illustrious CEO, my dog Molly. But the other silent partner behind the scenes is my wife. And let me tell you, my friends, a 17-year relationship with another person that has to talk to and live with you is a lot harder to maintain than one with a dog. We've had our ups and downs, and as you all know, a relationship isn't all sunshine and rainbows. They can be a lot of work. You get out what you put in when it comes to relationships, and talking to a therapist can be a fantastic way to put in some work. They can help you work through your issues, learn to communicate better, and even just provide you with an ear to bend when you need it. I've talked to my therapist about my relationships, especially when it came to my stand-up comedy career and how much I was away from home, and they helped me work on ways to keep my relationship strong even when I was out on the road. It turned out our relationship was actually better when I was out on the road, but that's a story for another day. And I know, right? Therapy. Who has the time these days? BetterHelp hears you, and they're making it easy. Fill out a quick form online, and they'll match you up with a therapist that suits your needs and that'll work around your schedule. You pick the meet times, and you can get your therapy fix from anywhere, over video, phone, or just chat. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. Okay, buddy, I'm not even going to ask you how you're doing because I've asked you a whole bunch already. We've recorded a bunch of these.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Good, you're good. Good. Miklos is here. Miklos Blackshaw, comedian, friend, game nerd like myself. And today we're talking, I'm running out of games. Like, I don't know when this episode's going to go live. Probably give or take in the 70s. Yeah. And I'm running out of like those like peak nostalgia games. You know what I mean? There's only so many.
I think, man, once you get out of them, you'll start to pick up some like niche nostalgia games.
And I'm trying to get more into that stuff and things like that. But having said that, there's nothing quite like those. Like, I still love it when we get to talk a game like this. That's just those nostalgia out the ass games. And like when you think of like the Nintendo, I think when people think of Nintendo 64. There are like there's a lot of big games, but like Ocarina and Super Mario 64 jump out. Yeah, the wrestling games jump out. Obviously GoldenEye. Yeah, and to a lesser extent Perfect Dark. Yeah, and then this one. And I'll tell you, dude, when I think of multiplayer experiences on the Nintendo 64 outside of wrestling, this
takes the cake for me,
buddy. Like Mario Kart 64, we all know this game.
Played this inside and out.
Right? Oh God, dude. I remember like, Oh, like this game makes me like, I don't know if I can, this isn't like my favorite game of all time. It's not even like Mario Kart's probably my second favorite franchise ever after the core Mario platforming games. And I don't know if I would even have Mario Kart 64 in like my 3 favorite Mario Kart games, but I don't know if there's one I have more nostalgia for than this one.
Oh my God. This one is just, this one is a definite nostalgia game. Like so many hours because this was like it was like the first of a generation of Mario Kart games that took on this aspect, right? Like Mario Kart for the SNES was better than bad at its best points. It was not a really good racing game. The battle was cool, but it was you're only playing against one guy.
The concept of it was phenomenal. You know, like I mean, I've played the shit out of that one too, and like I've played through it on my Super Nintendo Classic, and I've played through most of it on my SNES Online since it came out because I just love Mario Kart. But you're right, it hasn't aged super well.
No,
doesn't control great. The graphics, they look cool because of like that pixel art, but it's not great. This game just like. I prefer Super Mario World to Super Mario 64. I prefer Link to the Past to Ocarina of Time. For the most part, I prefer 16-bit games to the Nintendo 64 counterparts. Mario Kart 64 took the Super Nintendo Mario Kart, pumped it full of steroids, and made it perfect. Yeah. Like, it was...
This is like the beginning of refining it to the point it's at now.
Right. Yeah. Like you know what's funny about this game too is like when Super Mario Kart came out on the Super Nintendo, like it was a hit and people loved it, and it's like it's one of the most beloved, it's one of the most selling games and everything of all time. They could have just dropped that franchise there, I think, had they wanted to. Yeah. And people would have just forgotten all about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it would have been a one-off, right? This game to me was the one that established, like, because Mario Kart
as just like it's on everything.
Mario Kart's one of their biggest franchises, right? And this has to be, this game is the reason. It's not Super Mario Kart. No. And after this one came Double Dash.
There was like a whole bunch of handheld ones.
Yeah, there was like the Game Boy Advance one and stuff like that.
I loved that one.
Yeah.
The DS versions, definitely just a great concept of a game.
Yeah, it is.
And so many other games took from that game.
Like
and Chocobo Racing, which was lots of fun.
Yeah. Diddy Kong Racing, Crash Team Racing, Sonic Racing. And listen, I know there are people listening to this. I actually talked to my pal Darren. I don't know if you know. I don't want to say his last name because I don't know if he wants his last name said. He's a comedian from Calgary. Yeah. He's been on the show before actually. Who I believe he said he prefers Crash. He's a Crash Team Racing guy over Mario Kart. I believe you said that, Darren. If I'm wrong, that's why I'm not saying your last name. That way not everyone's yelling at you for me getting it wrong.
Also, Darren, you're fucking wrong.
Dude, this game to me is like, this is not the best game in the series.
No, it's not. It's not.
To me, what sets this game apart and makes it so beloved is we had never seen 4-player kart racing before, right? Like to me, the Nintendo 64, the number one thing I take away from the Nintendo 64 is that it was the first console I ever owned like with 4-player. Because I never had a multi-taps for my Super Nintendo or anything like that. I remember getting a Nintendo 64 for our birthdays, and we got Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. And I remember being like, I can play this. We got 3 controllers. Like they bought us 2 extra controllers. And I was like, you can play it like all at the same time? Like what? And it rocked my sock. Like, dude, battle mode with 4 people. And like, I didn't want to burn that in the first 5 minutes of this conversation. But like, that's it, right?
That was probably one of the best features of that game.
Right.
Was fighting each other. And like, some of the levels, notwithstanding that fucking city top donut one.
Oh yeah, that one sucks.
Stupid.
But like,
all I did on that one is I would fucking drift around in a circle.
Yeah.
And collect items and shoot them. That's all I did.
To me, like the best one was the one where it was the 4 different colored blocks.
Yeah.
In the 4 corners, you can climb each one a different way, and you're in like it's oh god. Okay, we'll get into battle mode in a minute. I know that's what you guys are here for. And if we burn it right away, then by the time we get to battle, or by the time we're done talking battle mode, you guys will all turn the fucking podcast off. Yeah. You'll be done. So it had 8 racers. The same as Super Mario Kart. Yep. But even that they improved. Yep. Because they dropped Koopa Troopa, who fucking sucks.
Yep.
and Donkey Kong Jr., who I don't know why the fuck he was even there.
Yeah.
Other than they probably needed another heavyweight character for Super Mario Kart to balance out Bowser.
Yeah.
Like that's all they wanted. And they replaced Donkey Kong Jr. with just Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Which was a no-brainer. And then, honestly, if Donkey Kong Country had come out prior to Super Mario Kart, I'm sure that Donkey Kong would have been in it, right? No-brainer. And then to me, this is a big deal because I love this character. When they dropped Koopa Troopa, they put Wario in.
Yeah.
And like Wario had never been playable in anything, if I can remember, other than the Game Boy game.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that and being like, what? Like, you can play as the bad Mario? Because Wario was still a niche new character back then, right? And I know some, like, I had friends that were like, this fucking... Because remember when Waluigi came out?
Oh,
like,
yes.
I know how much you adore
I love
Waluigi.
Waluigi. He's my character.
But when Waluigi first came out, like in Mario Tennis, I think was his debut, people were like, what the fuck is this? Like, Wario made sense. He's the evil Mario. His name says war. Like, sure. But like, Waluigi, like, what the fuck? And now everyone loves Waluigi.
Yeah.
And when Wario got put in this game, I know there were people that were like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's
that was
just...
like one of my buddies. That was my buddy's go-to character was Wario.
It was my go-to character, too. Him and Toad.
I was DK all the way.
Like, and everybody has them, right? Everyone listening to this podcast
That's
now.
one of those 8 characters that they go to, and that's it.
They knew their character, right? So you had Mario and Luigi. If I'm not mistaken,
There was always some guy, no matter how many times you play, there's always someone that was a fucking Yoshi.
yeah, and Yoshi sucks. I hate Yoshi so much. It had Mario and Luigi. It had Princess Yoshi and Toad. It had Wario, Donkey Kong, and Bowser. This was one of the first games where I really got into playing as Bowser, too, because I just thought he looked so cool.
Yeah.
But I liked Wario. And then that fucking, like, okay, that fucking Toad. Everyone knows that Toad voice, right? Because that was another thing that blew me away about this game. This was like one of the first times we heard them talk.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everyone remembers playing Mario 64 for the first time.
And you, like, kind of got the Mario voice.
When Mario did the, like, let's it go. Everyone was like, oh, my God. Like, it's me. It's a Mario. But, like, to hear a bunch of them, like, this was when you realized, like, Wario, like, you heard Wario's voice. Yeah, that fucking grizzly. I don't think he had the accent super heavy in this game yet that he has now. But, like, Wario. And then Toad, whose voice has gotten really, like, high and annoying lately, but I prefer I remember, like, I cannot get that image out of my head of that fat fucking Toad head, that white and red fucking Toad head, and like that that fucking grizzly Toad voice. And I think when you picked your character, they said something, so you could just mash it, it'd be annoying. Like,
and like you get it brought in like a whole bunch of new items. Like we called it the Humper Shroom.
The golden shroom.
The golden shroom, because you just set that off just as many times as you can, and like if you were Toad, okay,
that's right. Yeah, I do remember that. Oh, dude, because like, you know what I think of when I think of that, the gold mushroom and like and that track. I think of the one of the beach ones where you had to shoot into the waterfall, and that was like a secret. Like, I don't know why that just pops into my brain when I think of that. It had that. It had oh fuck! This was the game that introduced the blue shell.
Yes, that's correct.
I guess so. No game is perfect. When we score this game eventually, it's losing half a point for introducing that fucking shell.
Well, and that was like, especially so in the normal Grand Prix, I didn't like as much, but when you're playing with like 3 other friends, you're in the 4-player racing.
Right.
That blue shell was a fucking godsend sometimes.
To do it to your friends was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, right? Like,
but like whenever I play a Mario Kart game, like, I mean, obviously battle mode is the shit and everything, right? We'll get into that. Yeah. But like I have to get perfect scores on every Grand Prix. Like golden, 3 stars, whatever that game's method is. I have to. And to get fucked over by a fucking blue shell
right at the end
was so infuriating to me. Like, oh my God. Now, like, I'm used to it. Like, now it's just like, like when I play Mario Kart 8 now to this day, I can be in first place in the 3rd lap, and I'm like, I know I'm about to get fucked in the ass.
I just found out that there's that like horn thing.
Oh yeah.
That'll repel a blue shell.
Yeah. Yeah, they introduced it specifically to fight back against the blue shell. It's a godsend.
Yeah.
Dude, there's no better position in that game. And we'll get back to Mario Kart 64. I love Mario Kart so much. There's no better position in Mario Kart than be first place, final lap with a horn.
Yeah.
Because you're like, the only thing that's stopping me right now is like a lightning bolt. Like that's the only thing that's going to fucking slow me down. Like I'm invincible right now. It's the best.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken too, excuse me, the computer picked up items in this one.
Yeah.
Like, whereas like in the first, like in Super Mario Kart, the computer just had a stock item, right?
Yeah.
So
Big
like
Donkey Kong always had bananas he was throwing out.
Yeah, like that was boring. Like huge improvement, you know? And it changed things. Like this one got rid of the feather.
Yeah.
Which
is a bonus.
Yeah, like the feather, I thought the feather was kind of cool for shortcuts in Super Mario Kart. But once you got into the 3D world, I think the feather would have broke it.
Yeah.
You know, because I guarantee you there were a lot of areas in this game. Because that's another thing.
There's like on the Wario Stadium and Rainbow Road where you could like cheat. Real good.
Right, yeah. And like, because this game was like, I mean, obviously they had to make it better because it was better graphics, it was a more powerful system. But like Super Mario Kart, you had your track and then it was just surrounded by like lava or fucking grass or like, you know what I mean? Like there was nothing else around. Whereas this one really, like I'm looking at a screenshot right now of DK's the jungle track, and like there's trees everywhere.
That is iconic,
right?
Man.
Like it looks so cool. It really does look like you're just racing through the woods. You know what I mean? Like, I also just looking at this picture right now, like all the characters almost look like they have like a little bit of like a, I don't know what the word, maybe like a plastic shine to them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but like this game looks good. I feel like so many Nintendo 64 games have aged horribly.
They're just like this weird 3D pixels, and you're like, they're more like looking at Cloud in Final Fantasy VII during some of the really bad cutscenes.
That's what it is. Yeah. And like, look at this. Like, I mean, obviously this game's not beautiful or anything, but like this game hasn't aged that badly.
No.
Because everything's moving quick and you're not looking at their faces the whole time and stuff like that. Like this game still holds up okay. Like this one still looks decent, you know? You're right. Like some of the courses, because that's another thing this one did over Super Mario Kart was like Super Mario Kart had like 4 or 5 different kinds of courses, and then it was just like Donut Plains 3, Donut Plains 4. Yeah. Whereas this one had like unique tracks, you know. And I'll ask you because there's one specific track in this game that stands out to me. It's been brought up like it's in Mario Kart 8. I fucking adore it.
The Yoshi's Island or whatever, the one.
Oh no, but I like that one too though. No, Yoshi's Valley, where you could take like any different route. Okay, so I was gonna say Toad's Turnpike.
Oh, okay, yeah, with the
where you're in the traffic.
I like what they did with the Mario Kart 8 version too, where they like you could go up on the walls.
Yeah, they put the turbos in and stuff. Yeah. I remember,
and they're always on the outside too, so it's not like it's giving you like a crazy advantage.
No, you're just avoiding the traffic. Yeah, I thought that was like so cool that you could drive through the city and have like actual traffic around and stuff. No, the Yoshi's one. So one of the things it's a really little thing, but that I really like about this game when you're playing Grand Prix mode is that they have the heads of the people that are first, second, third, and fourth, and they would shift as someone went from like first to second to third. And when you were on Yoshi's track, it would just have the question marks because you never knew who was at first because of the multiple. Yeah. That was a really cool, like kind of novelty thing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then trying to figure out which way was the fastest. It had so much replay value.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I remember that course. I remember, this was the one that introduced Wario Stadium, I believe.
There was a part where you could jump over one of the walls.
Yeah.
And you cut off like half of the... Which we, a lot of me and my friends played the honor system for this, so...
We couldn't do that.
We would all agree to not, and then there was one guy, he's like, fuck you, I'm going to do it. So one of my buddy Josh would always be like, "Oh, you're gonna do it." So he would like let the other two of us race, and he would like just set up blocks so we couldn't.
I love it. Another thing this game did everything better than the first one. Yeah. Like, I hate to do that, but it did. One of the things that actually irritated the shit out of me about Super Mario Kart was in Grand Prix mode. If you didn't get in the top 4, you lost a life and had to go over again. Whereas in this one, if you don't get in the top 4, you lose a life, or you have to play it again. But there's
a point system, right?
Yeah, there's no game over. Like you could just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, fucking
This is where it's gonna lose points for me. Is the Grand Prix mode with 3 people or 4 people was just the people playing. They didn't put any computers in.
That's right. Yeah, you couldn't go Grand Prix mode with 3 or 4 people.
You could do it, but it was just your friends.
Right, which was kind of like, whatever,
yeah, like why? Sometimes I want to stomp my friends and have them like get beat by a bunch of computers.
Yeah. Although, admittedly, like unless I was playing it with one friend, like 2-player Grand Prix, we were in battle mode. Like I don't remember us hardly ever playing like
we
versus
played so
mode.
much.
Like, so okay, so that I don't have any other big thoughts on Grand Prix mode. Do you? Like, it's rad. It's fun. Like it's
there was
it's
another
the main
thing
mode.
we used to do. They fixed it in. I think you played this on Mario Kart 8. Or was it a different one? But they had the Peaches Raceway or whatever with the castle in it.
Yeah.
There's a part where you go up that giant ramp, and what we used to do is we used to hold on to lightning bolts.
Oh yeah.
And then you get someone like going up that ramp.
Yeah.
And you get them near the end, and you lightning bolt them so they can't fucking make that jump.
And then it just fucks them so hard.
So they have to wait there until the end.
Yeah.
Or they fall off. And then they come back, and they're still tiny, and they can't make it.
And they're
again.
just boned forever. Like, and you learn those like little strategic things to like stop guys. Yeah. Oh fuck! Do you remember there was the one too in the desert with the train?
Yeah.
And sometimes you get stuck at that fucking train if you didn't get past
That's
it.
You had to wait. Yeah.
You'd have to just sit there and look at the thing and just get so mad. I remember trying to drive through the tunnel, and eventually
I would like
you
to
get
see
stuck.
that level come back.
Right? Like, I want this game. Like, I don't care about getting a lot of Nintendo 64 games on Switch, but I want this game. Like, just release this.
I would like to see a remaster of this game. I mean, they remaster a bunch of the levels in like the Wii, Mario Kart Wii, and in this one, which is nice. But I mean, they picked up most of the really good ones.
But just give us like, dude, just
like
put
DK's
a paint.
Jungle Parkway,
right?
Was like that was always a battle. With me and my friends.
Just put a coat of paint on this and then drop it again. And I would and give us online. And I would pay $40 or $50 to play this online, in a heartbeat. So that was Grand Prix. Grand Prix mode is rad, and then it had a time trial that nobody fucking.
I have to say before we switch. I did a lot of mushrooms in playing this game with my roommate.
It doesn't seem like you.
Of ridiculous. Like this was like almost our everyday.
This was like, this game is like. I mean, I remember playing Super Mario Kart at like sleepovers, and we'd play battle mode, and loser would hand off the controller, and it'd be fun, right? Yeah. But then this game, where you could play as four of you, and it just fuck.
Okay,
so Grand Prix fine. Time trial sucks. Versus mode was you could just race with 2, 3, or 4 people, and it was fine. Fucking whatever. We all know, everyone listening to this right now, everyone knows that the heart of this game
was battle mode,
which really is insane to me because, like, I guess Super Mario Kart it was too. Like playing a 2-player, it was battle mode, and I almost feel like battle mode must have been like a thrown in like extra like. When they were designing this game, like to me, it would have been like, well, let's make the races good. Nobody's gonna want to just fight and pop balloons. And then I think after Super Mario Kart, they were probably like, holy fuck, people want to fight and pop balloons. Yeah. So then battle mode became the fucking cat's ass, and the fact that you could play it with 4 people. And you could have alliances with each other, but then you could team up on each other, and you could turn on each other. And like
Steve still got 3 balloons.
God, it was so good. I just unplugged my headphones, but I'm gonna keep talking. And that was it. Like when you realize, like, oh shit, like Mick. I gotta plug my headphones back in. When you realize, oh shit, Mick still has 3 balloons, the rest of us are down to 1. Then you team up on Mick and get rid of a couple of his. But then you saw a chance to get rid of one of the other guys. You still took it.
Yeah. Like, and then like you die, and then you become that bomb. So you still have one more chance to run into someone, which was hard. Is all hell to try to run into
was, but like and even that bomb was such a fucking brutally little troll thing. So if you went out in 3rd or 4th place, then while the other players were still battling, you get to control this little bomb cart, and you could run into someone and kill one of their blues. And that once you ran into someone, you were done.
Yeah.
But so you always were like, who just eliminated me? And then you like that would be your only focus. And
then you'd be the bomb, you'd be tracking someone down, and then someone would fucking come up behind you with a star, kill you, just waste your bomb.
And like to me, that like I guarantee you, when they were developing the game, they were like, well, if we make this 3 or 4 player, like if it was 2-player. player.
Yeah.
Once someone loses, the game's over.
Yeah.
When you play a 3 or 4 player, you're like, if you go in fourth, this game could go for another 5 or 10 minutes.
And then you're gonna be like, that's now
What do I do? So like, let's give them something to do, and it's like they never even made it optional. It was just like, no, you get to be a bomb, and you can. And like, I can remember fights between like me and my friends because it'd be down to 2 people with 1 balloon left, and then you come along with your bomb and fuck over one of them, and they'd lose, and it would just be like they did no business losing that match, and it would just turn into little heated fights.
Yeah, like especially if you could do like on like that block one or the one that it had platforms, but it like all went up.
And you could go across like the bridges and stuff.
Yeah, no. It was like a bunch of platforms, and then like the center was dropped out, so you could like drop down.
Oh, yeah.
That one, or like the one with the blocks and the bridges.
Yeah.
If you were like the bomb, and you could like jump off something into someone.
Oh god, it's such a like. Just like the fun, dude, like the fun of this game. I can't even. And you know what's crazy about it is like, I think if this game came out today, like if this had never existed before and it came out today, I think you would play it. But like after a few hours, like you'd play it for an hour with your friends and you'd be like, all right, like that's it. Like, I don't know what it is about it. Like I don't know if it's the like, because couch co-op is dead.
Yeah,
nobody
that's
sits.
Unfortunate.
It is, right? I think that's half of the magic of this game. Is sitting together and playing it with your friends and being able to yell at each other and even like, I know that some people like consider screen watching is cheating when it's a 4-player
whatever,
split
you're
screen.
gonna do it,
but that's what you would do, right? And then
it.
like when you were the bomb cart and you had nothing left to worry about, half of your focus was looking at whoever screen you wanted to kill to see where they were, and then you could go get them, right? Like, it was all about sitting together and playing it. That's what like this game was magic. Like this won't happen again, you know? Like, I mean,
I have like the new Smash for the Switch,
right?
And I find that's the game that I only play when there's people. Since I got all the characters,
it's just more fun to play with your friends on the couch.
Yeah,
right?
as opposed to like going online. Like, fuck online.
Like Mario Kart 8, I play the shit out of it online, and it's only because I don't have a lot of friends that are as good at Mario Kart 8 as me. And so even when I do try to play with my friends, like I'm going to work them. You know what I mean? Like it's if you've never played it and I have, I'm going to destroy you. Whereas this was one of those games where like we all played it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like we all played it with each other. And
and that's kind of like how you got good at it too. It's the same when we played, like when Mario Kart Wii came out and you could do 4 players in a Grand Prix with the 8 other computers.
Right, yeah.
That really changed the game because then you're finding all these balances like you drop down to 10th place because your friends are dicks. Yeah. But then like you end up like figuring out how some of these items work a little bit better and why you get them in the back. And how to get back up to the front real fast. Yeah. And I think that in this one, they did a really good job. But when you're playing with 4 people, especially in the races, and you get these items, and they really like they don't really advance you, especially if your friends are good.
Right. Right. Well, like, yeah, I agree with that. But like at the same time, like I feel like the Mario Kart series, as it's gotten more popular, they've tried to make it more of a level playing field. And like stupid items like the bullet bill, and I hate the fucking blue shell, but like some of that kind of stuff, like they've tried to make it for like even if you're in last, you're not out.
They're Now that we bring up this blue shell again, I was just remembering that if you were, because you could hold an item behind you as like protection. Yeah. If you could get that blue shell, like, nothing could hit you.
Oh yeah, you were invincible,
and you could hold on to it. You like so they'd like red shell it, and then it's like break all the red shells, and you still have that blue shell.
It was so OP.
If you accidentally let go of that blue shell, it fucking hits you while you're in first place.
I hate that fucking shell. I feel like the game has gotten away. I mean, it still rewards skill. Yeah. I feel like Mario Kart 8 has kind of tried to get back there, especially online.
200 too, right?
Yeah. But like, I feel like Mario Kart 64 was still very much like the best player is going to win. Unless you guys like team up on them or they get unlucky, the best player will win. You know what I mean? It was very skill based, but everybody owned it and we all played it together. And I feel like Mario Kart has expanded so much. Like Double Dash increased the size of the roster, and you could have 2 people on every cart, so you could have 2 items. And I like Double Dash. Some people shit on Double Dash.
Double Dash was lots of fun.
I really like it. Like there will be an episode of the show on Double Dash eventually, and it's going to get a very close to perfect score. Partially because I love it, and partially because fuck the haters. And then I honestly, Mario Kart Wii is probably my least favorite installment. It's still okay.
I played that. I knew all the shortcuts on that.
It wasn't awful.
I had a really high ranking online.
And then Mario Kart 8 is perfect. As far as I'm concerned, like Mario Kart 8 is legitimately on my 5 favorite games of all time list. Like I fucking adore it. But now that I have online, I can play as much as I want.
What's your favorite battle mode for 64? Your battle map?
That one with the 4 different colored towers that you could climb up that were all built a little bit different, and then they had the bridges going across from each other and stuff like that. Yeah, that was my favorite one. What about you?
I like the one with the one I was talking about before with the platforms on the outside,
right?
And then you can jump in the center. But also the lava donut map.
Oh, yeah.
That one was lots of fun.
Dude, this game, like, the Mario Kart, like, I mean, Smash has done the same thing, and sports games do the same thing. Everyone does. Like, games get bigger and bigger. They try to cram more and more and more stuff in. But I really do feel like Mario Kart 64 is a perfect example of less is more.
Yeah.
You had 8 racers. You had 4 battle mode tracks. But it was very easy for you to figure out what everyone could do and how to master everybody. There was less items, but like it was I haven't played Mario Kart 64 in 15 years.
It does not hold up.
And I am very worried. Like I don't know if I want to play it again because I'm worried about that. Do you know what I mean? But having said that, outside of wrestling, this is my favorite Nintendo 64 game. It's some of my absolute most treasured, like I can remember sitting in my basement, sitting in my friend Mike's basement, my friend Sean, like all my different friends, just like you'd order some pizza or fucking whatever, you know what I mean? Like I was like 14, 15 years old and just playing and it never would get old. And you'd be arguing with each other, but you'd all be laughing.
Yeah. And you were like, you would finish one set of races, and you're like, we're doing this again.
Right. Like to me,
we're gonna Grand Prix and Grand Prix and Grand Prix, then we're gonna fight each other for hours.
Yeah, like to me, the Nintendo 64's legacy is it was a great party system.
Yeah.
And to me, this game is, along with like the Mario parties and the GoldenEyes and the rest of, like I know there's a ton of great multiplayer games on it, but like to me, this one is right there. Like
this one got played probably more than any of the other ones.
Yeah. And I have zero doubt in my mind that this game is the reason that the Mario Kart franchise is as big as it is now.
Absolutely.
Like Super Mario Kart was fine, but it could have died there.
The battle mode in every other game after this, not nearly as fun.
No, they haven't. No, agreed. They have yet to top the battle mode on Mario Kart 64. No, and they probably. And the thing is, I would like to say they never will, but like it seems so easy. Just take what the Mario Kart 64 one was and just do that again. But for some reason, they can't do it.
Yeah, like I played a lot of the Wii one online. But it just never felt the same, even playing with a bunch of friends.
No, and like Double Dash, I remember us playing primarily that in like match race over battle mode because battle mode just wasn't the same. And Mario Kart 8, granted they tried to fix battle mode with the Switch version, but it just doesn't seem the same. Like this one was, I don't know what it is about it. Like there's just something like there's few games we've talked about on the show that I'd be like, there's something magical about this game. But Mario Kart 64, there just is. I don't know. It's the perfect combination of the graphics and the couch co-op and the 4-player and the battle mode and the stupid voices of the characters and just everything. Like the perfect storm. I fucking love this game so much. It makes me so happy. Like it makes me so happy. Oh, I feel like I need to smoke. Like fucking. Before, are we ready? You good?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I got most everything I wanted to say out.
All right. So, how are we going to score this thing? There's 8. All right, there's 8 racers. Yep. So, out of 8 racers, how many racers would you give Mario Kart 64? Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. I said it was getting deductions for certain things, so 6.
All right. 6. I'm going to go 7 because I want to give it a perfect score, but the blue shell. The blue shell fucked it. There's one thing it did wrong. It's that fucking blue shell. And don't come at me and be like, the blue shell is fine. No, it isn't. Blue shell is fucking useless, and there should be an option to turn it off, and I hate it.
I'm going to blue shell you later for sure.
I hate it. Fuck, I love Mario Kart 64. Good stuff, buddy. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, man.
that's going to do it for this week's episode. Mick, thank you so much for coming over and talking Mario Kart 64 with me. And to every single one of you beautiful people out there, thank you for taking a little bit of time to listen to my stupid podcast. I really appreciate it, you guys. As I've already plugged, our numbers are still going up and up and up. So all I'm asking from you, if you're enjoying the show, throw us a nice review on iTunes or something like that. And maybe tell a friend. If you share us on Twitter or Instagram, we're at Member the Game. If you post about us and you tag us, we'll throw you a retweet or a like or something, whatever it is we can fucking do to show you our appreciation. And if you really want to get crazy and support the show, hit us up on Patreon. It's patreon.com/rememberthegame. $2 a month is going to get you access to our whole back catalog of extra episodes. There's 9 in the bank with more to come. You're going to get a shout out on the show, and every single month I give 25% of our Patreon away in a gift card to the system of the winner's choice. And all you got to do to get entered into that draw is sign up at patreon.com/rememberthegame. That is going to do it for this week's episode, everybody. I will be back in 7 days with episode 73 of Remember the Game. In the meantime, go play some video games. Don't shit on Pokemon Sword and Shield until you've seen it, baby. Please just be nice. And I will talk to you guys again in a week. Take it easy. Cheers.